it's Sherri Nickols, and I want to welcome you to Sherri Live, where we are committed to helping women connect to the source of their love. Today, I am super excited to bring you a woman that I greatly admire. She is not only a colleague, but a friend, and I just want to share with you that she has gone through an amazing journey that she is going to share with you today that is going to give you some insights and some real golden nuggets as to how to navigate sometimes these challenges that we go through in life, and help you to move through them with grace and ease. So let me tell you a little bit about her first. We have Marchant Johnson with us today. And she is a professional relationship coach, author, and speaker. In her business, Love Life Coaching, she works with women around the world who want to enjoy a loving, passionate, committed relationship with an extraordinary man. She has been named one of the top 10 midlife relationship experts on her popular advice by datingadvice.com. And after many years of career success, with some frustration and heartache and disappointment in her love life, Michelle got support to uncover her own inner blocks to love, and she discovered the secrets that allowed her to meet and attract the right man. She became an ecstatic first-time bride at 43 and has been married to the man of her dreams for over 10 years now. As a breast cancer survivor, she believes that life is precious and is meant to be lived with purpose and love and joy. Michelle's passion is to help you ignite love and to have passion with the right guy. So welcome, Michelle. I am just thrilled to have you with us today. And wow, you have really, I'm such admiration of you, because you have not only overcome your own challenges to create a life that you love, getting into a relationship with a man that is your dream guy and successfully maintaining that for over 10 years. But you've built a wonderful business based on that passion. So what I would love to have you talk to us about first is that what drives that passion for you? Why is it so important for you to have moved into this career that you now have, where you're really facilitating and helping women all over the world connect with the right guy for them?
Well, I believe, thank you, Sherri, first of all, for having me. I'm delighted to be here, and I am grateful to speak about things that I'm really passionate about. And I think one of the reasons that I am so passionate about this is, first of all, because of my own struggle to find it in my own life, and because it has been such a gift and blessing for me to find it. But also, I believe that one of our deepest experiences and richest experiences in life is when we have the opportunity to learn and grow and to have the experience of loving and being loved, whether that's in a romantic relationship or other relationships. And many of the things that I've learned about myself and about life and about some of the most profound pieces of wisdom that I've gained in my life have come as a result of my journey to love, finding love with an amazing man, and the experience of sharing that with him. I think that being in relationship with another person is kind of like holding up a little different mirror in front of us. And if it's the right person, we are able to see a very kind and gentle reflection of ourselves back from this other person, but in a way that also supports our growth and our learning and our development as well. And so because my own journey to love was a long and winding one, I used to joke around saying I was going to write a book called Dating for Decades, chronicling all of my dating disasters, mishaps, and experiences. And because it didn't come easy for me, I feel like I appreciate it on a deeper level. And then some of the things that I'll share with you as we move forward about my breast cancer journey and how how this man showed up for me during that experience will help you to understand that even more deeply.
Hmm. That's, I am totally wholeheartedly loving what you were talking about there, because it is true. People are a mirror for us, and relationships can be that beautiful mirror for us, and allow us to grow within it. So it's beautiful that you're taking that experience, and that you've made it your life work, and you do such great work. So it's just really, I just want to acknowledge you for that, because you do amazing work, and we're really lucky to have you in this genre.
Well, thank you, Sherri. And it's a thrill for me when I see my clients and other women have that experience of loving themselves more, realizing their own value, their own intrinsic value, and then that helping and guiding them and being a light on their path toward having the love that they've always dreamed of. So that's another reason I'm so passionate about it, is that I've experienced it not only in my own life, but have seen many of my clients find love and joy that they never even dreamed was possible for them. And that's a true thrill. It's a true blessing.
It's beautiful. It's a wonderful gift to give. But on this journey, as you were talking about, as you were, going through your life and building a business, you experienced this huge health challenge. And I think that so often things like this do happen, right? I always say nobody skates through life, and we're always just really with the grace of God, just moving forward. But we do have circumstances, situations that can arise that can really take us out, and so I know that for a lot of people, they would love to hear, I would love you to share your journey, because as you mentioned, you're a breast cancer survivor, and that's something that so many women are, have experienced, or may have had it in their family, and so it's very common, and I just would love you to share your journey with that, and what happened for you that helped you to move through it, because you're obviously today you're thriving. You've kind of turned it around to create an even more expansive life within your business and within your personal life. So can you share that journey with us? Because I'm sure it had to be devastating. And
Yeah, I'm happy to share it. And fortunately, I'm in a place where there's been enough space and time between the diagnosis that I'm really comfortable talking about it. But I know when women hear the word cancer and breast cancer, it can strike a huge fear in the hearts of women. I can't imagine that there are very many things that women would be less excited or happy about hearing than you have breast cancer. And when I was diagnosed, my husband and I had been married for only about 4.5 years. I was 48 at the time. Wasn't expecting it at all. It was just like a shock out of the blue. And the irony is that I had been working for many years in corporate America and had tapered down to working part-time in corporate America and had been growing my business. And I was just at the point where I had quit my job and was ready to do my now business full-time. And simultaneously, I went to the doctor and got diagnosed with breast cancer. And it was a strange form of breast cancer called lobular breast cancer. It's not as common. So it never showed up as a lump, but it grew more like a spider web. And so on mammograms, it appeared more like normal breast tissue. And I had just noticed that something felt a little different for me. And I had had a mammogram only 6 months before, and I was back at the doctor, and they said everything was fine. And I was back at the doctor saying everything doesn't feel fine. So my first message here is to trust your own wisdom and your own intuition about your body and about your safety and your well-being, and to be your own advocate. And so he said, well, you'll probably have to pay for the mammogram. And I'm like, that's fine. I have to have this checked out again. So this time I had a diagnostic mammogram where they also do an ultrasound. And as the radiologist was checking me out after I'd had the normal mammogram procedure, he kept going over and over and over my right breast with his little wand. And I'm lying there feeling freaked out because I just had this sense that something was wrong. And I said, what are you looking for? And he said, well, you have slight architectural changes in this breast. Well, I've never even heard of such a thing. And he said, I have a really bad feeling about this. So I'm lying there having this ultrasound, and I have him saying this. Well, it turned out that it was pretty tricky to actually even get the diagnosis. Even after that, I had to have a breast MRI, and then I also actually had to have more or less the equivalent of a lumpectomy before they could even for sure say that that was the diagnosis. But as it turned out, my whole right breast was really filled with cancer. We know it was at least 4 inches in centimeters. So that started me off, Sherri, on an unbelievable path. First of all, it's like getting hit by a train to get that kind of news. And then I thought, this is so ironic because I've just been preparing myself to really go full time into doing this work that I'm really passionate about and trying to help other people. And why would this strike me right now? It just, like, the timing just didn't make sense. And I think we all know that these things happen to people, but I don't think we always expect that we're going to be the ones that it happens to. And so when it comes, it's a big shock, despite the fact that we see other people all around us going through really difficult and challenging things. So then the doctors, a team of doctors more or less, laid out the treatment path. And Sherri, I have to tell you, I felt like I was this out of shape, middle-aged woman being told that I was going to strap on a backpack and climb Mount Everest. That's how impossible it sounded to me. I just thought, I don't have the strength. I can't go through this. I can't do it. Because they told me, because of the size of this tumor, I was considered a stage 3 cancer patient, which stage 4 is the highest level you can go. So it was a very serious stage of cancer, and they looked at me with concerned eyes and said, we'll do our best, but we don't know how this is going to turn out. So as they laid out this cancer treatment path, which included 6 months of chemo to try to shrink the tumor because they were afraid they wouldn't get it all if they didn't, a double mastectomy, and then radiation, all of which was going to take over a year is a period of time, and then that didn't even include any reconstructive surgery yet. I just thought, there's no way I can face this. There's no way I can do this. There's no way I have the strength to go through all of that. On top of that, Sherri, and this I know probably the women on the call will relate to, I felt like I was losing all of my physical feminine attributes. They actually did a hysterectomy as well because they were concerned about some endometriosis and some little polyps and things that I had going on down there. Then I lost my hair from the chemo. Then I lost my breasts as a result of the double mastectomy. And I mean, I felt so ugly. Besides being sick, besides having cancer and not knowing whether I was going to live, I felt so ugly and unattractive. And I went from being this very strong, independent, capable, self-sufficient woman to needing a lot of support, a lot of love, not knowing whether I was going to live or die, and feeling like I was going to lose feeling like I was losing all of my feminine attributes, wondering whether my husband was going to still love me. I mean, I'd even got to the point where my eyebrows and eyelashes jumped ship. So believe me when I tell you, this is a painful experience to look in the mirror and see yourself like that. I used to say I felt sort of like Gollum from Lord of the Rings when my hair was falling out. That's what I felt like. And yet, I can tell you, Sherri, and I'll share a little bit about this as we transition, there were some amazing gifts and experiences that came from this experience. And I know that I had divine help, and I felt like I had angels with me, human angels and heavenly angels with me on this journey, because I know for a fact that I did not go through all of this on my own strength. I know that I didn't. I know that I couldn't have.
Michelle, my heart just goes out to you. I mean, this is so tragic, and I think that so many people can relate to what you're sharing. Thank you for being so vulnerable, and for sharing this with us. I can't even imagine what you went through with that. But I really love hearing that you reached out to the angels and to a divine power at a time, which I think is really important for people to hear, when you feel like you just can't get through. So please share with us what that was like for you, what that connection was like for you, and how that helped you.
Yeah. Well, first of all, as I talk about it now, I can say I might sound like I was really brave and courageous. At the time, I have to tell you, I was absolutely terrified. I was terrified of the treatments. I was terrified about whether I would live or die. I was terrified about what my life would be like or look like, or what I would be like or look like after it was all over. If I did survive, there were so many fears. And when you have that level of fear, it can be so all-encompassing, and it can really sap your strength. And I knew I needed strength for the fight, so to speak. And when I talk about the fight, I mean just continuing to move forward through the treatments and continuing to try to be an advocate for my own health care and for my own treatments with my doctors, and that's incredibly important. And to have the fight to keep hoping that there would be something beyond this experience. And so I did pray like I've never prayed before. I've always been a person that has had a deep faith and believes deeply in God, but I can tell you, I prayed like I've never prayed before. There were so many nights, even when I didn't even have the strength to do anything else, when I would lay in bed, and sometimes I would reach my arms up toward the ceiling, and I would just pray for help and for guidance and for the strength to keep moving forward. And that if it was possible that I might be able to continue my life and to continue my journey. And one of the things that brought me a lot of heartbreak was thinking about leaving my husband. It still felt like we were in a relatively new marriage, having only been married 4.5 years. And I felt like it would just be so hard to leave him so early after it taking so long to find him. So I did plead for my own life and for my own healing. And I really do feel like, Sherri, I was guided to certain things I went down a traditional medical path in treating this cancer, but I also feel like I was guided to do certain things that I feel like aided in my own healing. I found different modalities and health practices and things like that I do feel like I was guided to, which I feel made a positive contribution toward my own healing. I also learned to receive, and I think this is a really key point. So as women, we tend to be really good at giving. And I can tell you I'd rather give than receive when it comes to feeling like I need something. It's hard to be in that position where you're so vulnerable and you're so needy. I mean, I was actually needy. I had needs that I'd never experienced before. But I would have people ask me, what can we do for you? How can we help you? And I would give them real tangible things. I wouldn't say, oh, I would say, pray for me, but I would say, you know what? It's a hard time for me to be alone all the time right now. I'd love it if you came and visited me. Or it's a hard time for me to cook sometimes after I've had chemo treatments, and I would love it if you brought in a meal. So I would specifically ask for things that I felt like could support me during that time. And that's something I'd never done. And the way that people showed up in ways that were asked for and unexpected were so beautiful and touched my heart so deeply. I really, truly never felt more loved. And that's why I say I feel like I had angels all around me. And then my sweet husband was just an incredible rock star during this whole experience, even in my ugliest days when I felt so ugly. He would kiss my bald head. He would kiss me on the top of my head, and he would tell me how beautiful I was and how much he loved me. And you know what, Sherri, that was a gift that I will never forget, because I got really clear about the fact that he loved me for the essence of who I am, not for how I looked, or not for what I could do, or not for my accomplishments, or not even for all that I was giving to him, because for that period of time, all of that was gone. But he loved me for the divine essence of a woman that I am, for my heart and for my soul and for all that I am, and not just all of these outward trappings that had seemed so important. And so one of my messages here, which I got this beautiful gift of getting that in a way I never understood it before. But one of my messages here for the women listening is that you are lovable, and you have that divine feminine essence. You have that divine feminine quality intrinsically as a part of who you are. And all of these outward trappings, which can seem so important to us, are really not the essence of who you are. Your heart, your soul, your mind, your thoughts, who you have the ability to be by your loving presence and by your caring heart. Those are the things that make you you. And in the long term, those are the things that those that really know you and really love you are going to love you the most for. And I got a true gift of experiencing that and knowing that in a way that probably would never have been possible without going through that experience. And I felt that same kind of love from God in a way that I'd never felt it before. Because truthfully, it's a miracle that I survived the cancer, but there were also little miracles along the way. And for those of you that may have lost a loved one or lost someone to cancer, I can say, or from another cause, I can say, just because they didn't survive, as hard as that may be, does not mean that God's love or his presence wasn't there for them or isn't there for you. Because I came to know that whether I lived or whether I died from this cancer, I came to know that his love was there for me. The divine love was there for me. And that whatever was meant to happen was going to be his will, and that I would be gathered in his loving presence either way. And I'm grateful that I lived. But I just wanted to say that because I think for people that haven't experienced miracles or feel like they didn't experience the same kind of miracle, I just want to emphasize that that divine love is still there. And the divine love that I felt I came to know was there whether I lived or died.
Beautiful, Michelle. That was so beautiful, and powerful. Really, really powerful. I think that is a huge message for everyone listening, that really, really let that soak in, what Michelle shared. That who she, first of all, who she is this amazing, beautiful light, and that she doesn't, I mean, oh, Michelle, how could, as a woman, not to have your hair, not to have your eyelashes, not to have your eyebrows, to be without your breasts, all the things that we feel make us beautiful, to be without those and still to know that you are loved, that had to be so devastating for you, but yet the flip side had to be so amazing and phenomenal to really get that truth in your cells, in your soul. So thank you. Gosh, you are so brave and so courageous, and just sharing, secondly, about how you know that God's love is always there for you, no matter what. And it is true. We think if we don't get what we want that we're not favored, but that isn't it at all. There's on some level that we don't even know, there is something being orchestrated that's in the highest for everyone. And you shared that beautifully, and just know that love is always there for you. And another huge gift and lesson that I loved that you touched on was the gift of receiving, because so many women, as you say, we're so good at giving, but to allow others to give to us, that really brings it to a whole other level, because you're able to receive love then. And I think that what I got from that, Michelle, was that allowed you to receive that love, allowed that energy blockage of when we're only giving and we don't receive it. It allowed that to dissipate, and then to bring in all that extra love. And it makes the other person who's giving feel so good too, because think about how good we feel when we're giving. So it's a gift to give to the other person as well.
Yeah, can I just add a tiny little bit to that?
Sure.
One of my religious leaders, as I was beginning the journey, I said, "Oh, this is so hard for me to have these needs and to be asking people to help me." And he said to me, he said, "You are giving them a gift by giving them the opportunity to be there for you and to give to you, and they will be blessed by doing that." And that helped me to be able to be more able to receive. And then I just wanted to say, for any of you that have gone through or are going through experiences of deep, profound pain, whether it be physical pain or illness like I'm describing here, or a divorce or a loss, or anything that's causing you deep sorrow or pain, I really believe that there is this divine compensation for what we go through. And what I mean by that is, I believe that when we experience the depths of sorrow and pain and suffering, things that we never planned on, imagined, or wanted to have as a part of our life, chapters of our life story that we wish may have never been written, I also believe that increases our capacity to feel greater joy. Now, that might sound a little bit funny, but I believe because of the depths of sorrow and pain and suffering I went through, I feel like it has expanded my capacity to feel joy and to feel deeper love and compassion and caring. And so many times going through my cancer journey, the love that I felt from other people, from the presence of angels, from God, literally brought me to tears. And I feel like I experienced something that I deeply treasure. And while I wouldn't wish this particular experience on anyone, I can say there were true and beautiful gifts that came as a part of it.
Beautiful, Michelle. Thank you so much for sharing with such transparency and such vulnerability and such heart. And I gained a lot of lessons from this, and I know that our listeners, I'm sure, have gained as well. I would love you now though to tell us, because I know you are you have a thriving business. You know, you've brought brought yourself to this point in your life where you have brought the gifts that you learned from this experience and built an amazing business on based on that you're able to share really from such a huge, expansive, generous place. Tell us what you are excited about right now. What is happening for you in your life right now in your business that you are excited about?
Well, thank you so much, Sherri, for the opportunity. I'm so grateful that I get to do the work that I do in the world and that I get to do my little part to expand love in the world. And I've had an event each January over the last 4 years. This will be year 4, called Ready for the Right Guy. And the subtitle is Invite, Inspire, and Ignite Love and Passion with Your Mr. Right. And the event features over 30 top love, dating, and relationship experts who share their experiences and their wisdom and brand new content about ways that you can invite, inspire, and ignite love and passion in your own life and invite in your own Mr. Right. And over the past 3 years, thousands of women from around the world have joined me from over 30 countries, and I'm thrilled to be offering year 4 of the Ready for the Right Guy event. And for those of you that are just thinking about dating, maybe haven't dated for a while, or are dating someone, or are even in a relationship, I'd love to invite you, because I can guarantee there's something here for you that can create a whole new possibility and in your love and in your life. The interviews, I'm biased of course because this is my event, but the interviews have been incredibly beautiful and incredibly valuable, and I would just love to have any of you that are here join me as part of this global community of women. And Sherri, where is the link for them to join? Will there be a link?
Yeah, there's a link right here next to this video. Just go to the right of the video and you'll see the link. And I would really, really strongly encourage you to sign up, because Michelle does an amazing job. She always has wonderful, wonderful experts who give incredible tips on how to not only meet the person of your dreams, but they just have such expertise in all areas of relationship and love. And I am very blessed and honored to be a part of the summit as well. And I just, having known Michelle for years, I can tell you that she will provide you with tons of success tools and help you to get going on your path in 2017 in a wonderful, phenomenal, successful way. So click on that link to join Michelle, and we will now, Michelle, I would just love to ask you if you have any final thoughts that you would like to share with us, any gems that you'd like to share.
Yeah, I would just love to share a little parting thought, and that is, no matter what has or hasn't happened in your life up to this point, no matter what is happening or isn't happening in your life right now, I want to invite you into the place of possibility, and I want to invite you into the place of self-compassion. If you feel like you've made mistakes or tripped or fallen along the way, if you feel like you've made mistakes in your relationships, if you feel like you have faced or are facing obstacles, I'd like to invite you into the place of gleaning what gifts and lessons and blessings there are in those. But I'd also like to invite you into believing that you're still here for a reason. You have something to offer. You have something to give. And your life matters. And this is not a dress rehearsal. This is the real thing. And I have definitely gained an appreciation for the value of life and time as going through this breast cancer journey and facing my own mortality brought that, right into the forefront. So I invite you into that place of valuing your life and your time and valuing yourself and living the life that you were meant to live. And that's really my hope and my desire and my message for you. And I'm sharing this with all the love that I have in my heart, and wanting the very best for you in your love life and in your life overall.
Michelle, thank you so much. It has been such a pleasure and a privilege to have you with us today. Again, I thank you for sharing so beautifully from your heart. And for those of you, again, go ahead and click on the link if you'd like to experience more of Michelle. And now, Michelle and I would love to hear from you. So what is the single greatest takeaway that you got from Michelle's share today in our conversation today? And how will you put that into practice in your life? Go ahead and there's a place for you to comment below this video. We'd love to hear from you. And then after you do that, head on over to SherriNickolsTV.com and sign up to become a Sparkle Insider. You will gain immediate access to the Sparkle 4Cs mantra, as well as an audio meditation on how to connect to your diamond power. Stay connected to your diamond power, ladies, because this is the source of your love. This is, wow, the light within, that is your holy grail. This infinite love that is available to you right now in every moment of every day. Until our next episode, wishing you infinite love. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.